You must have seen, or you must have seen some of the results mentioned in this report from World Economic Forum. This is the latest report issued less than a month ago, the Future of Jobs report. And that really hit me hard because this report is really not a joke. It's came out from a very serious research comprising of 80 countries with a very reliable, credible organization, World Economic Forum. And it starts with the good news. The good news is that more job would be created than taken away. That's quite a good news. 133 million jobs would be there, and 75 million jobs would eliminate. So there is a net gain of the jobs. But this switch is not coming easily. There is a significant job disruption taking place. A lot of jobs are being eliminated, a lot of jobs are being created, and people, many categories of jobs is going through a disruption. It's a major disruption. And this is all going to happen in the next 4 years. That's very important to really understand. Now, there are certain categories in the top 10 declining roles which really interest us. And I could see that accounting, bookkeeping, and other roles, as well as another category, number 7, is accountants and auditors roles. So that's really interest us in the declining area. Of course, it's very quite worrisome for many people. This is another chart from the report that shows the division of labor between humans and machines is shifting fast. So here, I think basically this is a very good criteria to judge and identify that which roles would stay, which roles would go away. Look at the human part and the machine part. So currently, based on the average, 71% of the work is done by human and 29% by machines or robots or computers or technologies. By 2022, this ratio would shift to 42% work done by machines or robots. And by 2025, this would be more than half. So you could see the trend very clearly that machines and robots and technologies are taking over our jobs very fast. And 2025 is more than half. So the criteria for you is to look on your jobs that is it repetitive? Is it routine? If this is the same type of task which can be done again and again, you can beat robots with the productivity. Robots, these type of jobs, robots and machines can do much better, much accurate, much faster, and much precisely. What we are doing on the human side going forward is more complex jobs. It's more tasks related to innovation and creativity and decision making, and I'll explain more on that part. So that's a very clear criteria. Whatever job you are doing, you can evaluate that from this point of view. Let's talk about the accounting profession or finance profession in particular. So the picture you are looking at, it's a broad overview what we have in finance in terms of the roles and functionalities or responsibilities or skills. So if you look from the bottom, you see there are some functions which are related to the transactional processing or standard reporting. This area of the profession or function is already very much automated through the shared service centers, through the ERP systems, through the computer automation. It's pretty much already done with some exceptions. If you move up in this triangle upward, then you see the next box, the blue area. It's basically routine analysis. And in this area, there is a mixed bag. Many companies have also automated that part, the analysis, and many companies are still doing manually. So you must have observed the many large companies who have implemented ERP, very strong system. They still use a lot of spreadsheet, and that's part of that manual work. We are still doing it. If you continue to look upward in this triangle, it's breaking down here in the two parts now. So just move towards the right side and look at the ad hoc analysis. Now, ad hoc analysis, I would call a specialty analysis. These are not the routine analysis, but these are the advanced level analysis based on certain situations. And that's pretty much done manually. So here we see the FP&A managers and financial analysts and other people are really doing things using a lot of their manual skills. and creating those analysis and reports. And the top of the pyramid, if you note in the green triangle, that refers to the finance business partnering. Now, this is the highest level of skill in finance function. So back to the blue area, as I said, this is a mixed bag. And a lot of things in terms of analysis are being done by automation. But what will happen 4 years from now, it matter of speculation. Again, the report says that a lot of jobs are going to move into this automation area. On the top, you see there is a CFO or finance director. Now that is the head of the function. So of course, that's going to stay at least for the foreseeable future. But especially the part of this picture, which is on the right side, the ad hoc analysis and the finance business partner, that's what we are going to focus and see that how could we really understand this message so we are well prepared for future. Now, this slide is my own interpretation based on all the information I understood from the report, based on the what is happening in the real world, my personal observation, as well as the information available publicly. I try to segregate the roles which are falling into three categories. One, on the right side, you see the redundant roles. And then on the left side, stable roles. And in the middle, there are roles I'm not sure whether they would survive. So roles you see on the right side, basically, these are the ones which fall into the routine jobs categories. These are the jobs or tasks mainly which are repetitive, which can be taken over by robots or machines or already being done by that. Now, just a qualifier. I think all of you know in accounting finance function, the titles significantly vary compared to the roles and responsibilities. In many companies, I have seen the accounting or finance manager basically doing the job of CFO. And in many large companies, they are doing a very routine job. I have generalized these things. They are not very specific or they are not conclusive. I just generalize the trends here. So there may be a lot of exceptions. Controller, treasurer, chief accountant, chief auditor, the same thing. Their actual jobs significantly vary from company to company. In some companies, controller is doing very routine job. In some companies, they are doing very high level, close to the CFO level jobs. The roles you see on the left side, stable roles, those are interesting. So of course, chief financial officer, finance director, GM of finance, VP of finance, they all fall into the same, more or less the same category like chief financial officer or CFOs. And their job involves significantly the manual talents or the specific skills. So they are, as I said earlier, I don't see that in foreseeable future they are going anywhere. The role you see next is finance business partners. That's interesting because that's also a very broad role or category, not very specifically defined. But this is what we are talking about, that's the future role, that's the emerging role. And I'll explain you in next few slides what this role comprises of. But that is really the main venue of opportunity for finance professionals. And below that, you see data analyst, business analyst, risk manager, compliance manager, which are some specific high-level technical categories. So who is finance business partner? Let's understand that. A finance business partner is, of course, a finance function professional who work along the business side, along with business partners, supporting and advising their strategic and operational decision-making through insights that drive better business performance. So as I said, very broad category, a lot of things would fall into this category. More specifically, a finance business partner is involved in strategy formulation, implementation, communication, and involves in commercial decision-making and negotiation, leads on business analysis, and serves as a sounding board, trusted advisor, critical friend, and facilitator towards producing productive business discussion. So again, this last bullet item is again very, very broad. And there are different names and titles for this category or this role. So many cases, the CFO is himself or herself doing the role of finance business partner. Same goes for finance director, general manager, and VP of finances. Many companies, controllers, financial controllers, or business controllers are involved into that role. And in many companies, FP&A manager or business analysts are doing their job. And management accounting also falls into that area. So there are a variety of titles and names for these roles, but the most common or the emerging role, or the more and more company adopting this title of finance business partner to describe what we are talking about. So with this significant variations in roles, and with the technology taking over very fast, my advice is that don't worry about your future role, because if you look at my earlier slide, accounting manager, finance manager, and you get concerned that this role would not survive, well, it's not about role. It's about the specific functions or specific responsibilities or the activities we are talking about. And those activities are related to the skill set. So instead of worrying about your role, focus on your skills development, that what skills you have today and what skills you could develop and learn for future. So any role or most of the roles you would fit with your skill set in future or near future. So this slide is also from the report, and this very specifically shows the skills which are declining and which are growing in the next 4 or 5 years. And again, rather than looking at specific skills, you could look at the trend. If you look at the declining skills, manual dexterity, memory, verbal, auditory, management and financial material resources, technology installation and maintenance, reading, writing, math, management of personnel, quality control, and safety awareness. If you look at this list, you can very well understand that many of these jobs are already being done by machines or robots or technology. And so these are expected to be taken over very fast. These are jobs which are repetitive, which are easy to be taught to the machines and program the machines, and they could do this much better with higher speed. We cannot beat machines on productivity. We basically beat machines on some other skills, the human talent, which is unique. So if you look at the left side, growing skills, here you would also see a very clear trend: analytical thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategies, creativity, originality, and initiative, technology design and programming, critical thinking and analysis, complex problem solving, leadership and social influence, emotional intelligence. I don't see in foreseeable future or ever that a robot could take over the job of emotional intelligence from a human being. So what we are saying here, that we could beat the machines, beat the robots, beat the technology as a human being based on the skills, based on the talent, which is very unique to human. And this involves the critical thinking, problem solving, emotional intelligence, etc. So keep this list of the skills which are growing in demand, and we would relate with our profession where these skills are needed. I also try to clarify what skills in finance are declining or will decline, and what skills are basically grow or emerge. So on the declining side, you could very well see that, of course, number crunching is there, reporting, standard reporting, controlling in controlling area, a lot of with automation, a lot of controls are being built in. Management of financial resources and management of personnel and technology use. This is also from the directly from the report. On the trending side or emerging side, most of the skills I have listed here are basically listed in the report itself. And these are very broad skills, very high level, but these would be applicable in most of the job categories, including the finance and accounting roles. So let's look at the business models, and let's try to understand that what are the business problems or what are the business issues we are helping or we can help. So where business needs support from finance. One big area is decision support. That is where they need finance and accounting help. And in this big category, you could very well see the different process like planning and budgeting, capital expenditure, mergers and acquisitions, promotion and advertising expenditure. More and more companies are involving finance people into the marketing expenditure, because there are millions and millions of dollars spending without any proper evaluation or any scrutiny. New products pricing or new market initiatives, a new project appraisal, build or buy decision, pricing of products or contract. So there is a long list of areas which fall into the decision support where businesses need help from finance. Another area where finance people are involved or can help is performance management. So cost leadership, under the cost leadership or cost control or cost management, budgetary control, process management, resource allocation. Then there is performance evaluation of different business units, alignment of key performance indicator, balancing short-term and long-term goals or focus, managing intangibles. More and more new business models have a lot of intangibles, and that is an area business needs management, and they also require finance help for that part. Project management and risk management. So these are again very broad categories, but you get the flavor. These are the areas which are not going to be supported and solved and addressed by machines or robots or automation. So finance and accounting professionals are definitely needed in this area.